HarperCollins presents The Sheikh and the Dustbin by George Macdonald Fraser, read by David Monteath. The Sheikh and the Dustbin. The Servant Problem. One of the things I never learned from my tough grandmother, the golfing Calvinist, not the Hebridean saga woman, was how to deal with domestic help, and this although she was an authority, having been both servant and mistress in her time. As a girl, straight from the heather, she had been engaged as kitchen maid at one of those great Highland shooting lodges to which London society used to repair a century ago, and, being a Glencoe Macdonald of critical temper and iron will, she had taken one cold Presbyterian look at the establishment, with its effete southern guests and large, inefficient staff, and decided, like Napoleon contemplating the map of Europe, that this would never do. Within 6 weeks she had become senior housemaid. By the end of the season she was linen mistress, and before her 20th birthday she was head housekeeper and absolute ruler of the place, admired and dreaded by guests and staff alike. I can only guess what she was like as a teenage chatelaine, but since in old age she reminded you of a mobile Mount Rushmore, handsome, imposing, and with a heart of stone, it is a safe bet that living in that lodge must have been like being a galley slave in a luxury liner. Knowing her zeal for order and reform, I suspect that her aim would be that of an enlightened prison governor, not to break the spirit of the inmates altogether, but to see that they went back into the world better and wiser human beings. Whatever effect she had on those sophisticated ladies and worldly gentlemen, and I'm sure she taught them that there were higher things in life than grouse shooting and flirtation, they can have been in no doubt that the Highland servant, whether lowly menial or autocratic housekeeper, was very different from the southern domestic. My grandmother was not alone in her generation in simply not knowing what servility meant. Indeed, mere civility was no commonplace, as witness the famous John Brown, whose devotion to Queen Victoria was matched only by his rudeness. My grandmother, who gave respect only when she felt it was due, which wasn't often, used to recall without a glimmer of a smile an event from her early years in service, when the lodge's head cook, another stern Caledonian, noted for her prowess at whist drives, was called in by her employers to take part in a bridge game, there being a shortage of players among the guests. As luck had it, the cook partnered a prince of the blood, who took mild exception to her bidding, whereon the cook rose in her wrath before the quality assembled, and hurled down her cards, exclaiming, "Away, ye crabbit old Prussian, and play by yoursel." Nor was she dismissed. A prince may be a prince, but a Highland cook who knows the secrets of venison and cold salmon is something else. It may be significant, too, that grandmother's only joke was based on the English master-Highland servant relationship. It described how a chimpanzee escaped from the circus and was found dead in a ditch by 2 gillies employed at the local castle, then occupied by a London shooting party. The gillies had never seen a chimpanzee before and didn't know what to make of it. At last the elder said, "It's our hairy for a Macpherson, no broad enough in the chest for a Fraser, and too long in the lip for a Cameron. Away you up to the big hooserchy and see if ony of the gentry's missing." I told that joke in the mess once, with mixed success. The padre worked it with Gallic subtlety into a sermon, but the second in command looked puzzled and asked, "And was anyone from the big house missing? No? Oh, bit of a mystery then, what?" However, you will note that there are 2 butts of the joke, the foreign gentry and the ignorant gillies, which says something about grandmother's outlook on life. Her censure knew no class boundaries. Dukes and dustmen alike and grandsons had to be kept in their place, and she was the woman to do it even when she was very old. My heart bled for her own maidservants when, as a small boy, I used to visit her home, that still, immaculate domain with its softly chiming clock, redolent of beeswax and lavender, all swept and polished to perfection. I lived on tiptoe there, giving ornaments a wide berth, wondering at her bookshelves where Cruden's Concordance and Bunyan's Holy War lay beside long outdated fashion magazines from Paris, pushing in my chair to the exact inch when I received
Sample complete. Ready to continue?